The year was 2012. In the early days of modded Minecraft there was a mod called Industrial Craft 2. It was a mod which added many electrical machines, blocks, and items. While it may sound boring today, Industrial Craft 2 is the precursor to every single tech mod for the game. It was revolutionary. 2012 Minecraft was a very simple game, but Industrial Craft added many technical mechanics onto it. It completely changed the modding scene, and most important of all, it planted the seed of Greg. But about 5 months later, a developer called GregTech created an add-on to IC2 called GregTech which added things like a lightning rod and a fusion reactor. GregTech wanted to expand on Industrial Craft 2's gameplay. IC2 only had 3 tiers: low voltage, medium voltage and high voltage. Gregorius wanted to go up and make things more advanced. At this point, GregTech was quite small and only added a couple machines to the game. However, Gregorius did not know what he was getting into. Gregorius Techneticis kept adding content to his own mod, and it was quickly becoming much more different than a simple add-on to Industrial Craft 2. GregTech's gameplay was much more complicated than IC2 at this point, and Greg wanted people to play Minecraft his own way. In 2013, this started a war. In July 2013, an user on the Industrial Craft forums noticed that there's an exploit you can use to get free material while using both GregTech and Tinker's Construct in the same instance. This prompted Gregorius to insert code that would crash the game when both mods are installed. This created a lot of drama and suddenly, GregTech became the target of many memes among the community. GregTech's reputation quickly sunk to its lowest levels. Hell, even Gregorius himself started to participate in the trolling of other mod developers. Fast forward 2 years to Minecraft 1.7.10, and GregTech is on version 5, and it has blossomed into one of the most extensive mods in Minecraft history, with a long and defined progression, adding 6 tiers of progression and various chemical processes quite true to real life. But when Minecraft 1.8 came out it changed some fundamental aspects of modding and some chose to stay on 1.7.10 instead. Some mods, like GregTech, were too difficult and big to port over to 1.8, as they needed to be rewrote from scratch. Greg was among them and released GregTech 6. This version of GregTech is completely different from GregTech 5, focusing much more on the early game, and having a completely different way to make power. Gregorius decided to not maintain GregTech 5 anymore, and completely focus on GregTech 6. This version of GregTech is still being updated to this day, but it's not really very popular. Gregorius deserves praise for what he has done. This is why I am playing Terra Firma Rescue, a mod pack which uses GT6. The series is on my channel, however some members of the community preferred GregTech 5. Among them there was a developer, BloodAsp, who created his own edition of GT5. He called it GregTech 5 Unofficial. The mod pack developer Dream Master XXL took inspiration from this, so in 2016, he started making the infamous mod pack GregTech New Horizons. GTNH was the first really big mod pack using GregTech, as it integrates over 200 mods into the GregTech progression, adding much more pain than expected. GregTech New Horizons' painful approach to gameplay, with lots of waiting, made it the target of jokes in the community. GregTech New Horizons is still active to this day, and I have also made several videos on it. By now Minecraft had moved on and many mods were on higher versions. In May 2018 a project was created on version 1.12.2 by a team led by Archingius, known as GregTech Community Edition. This version of GregTech wanted to be the definitive version of all GregTechs out there. It included elements from GregTech 4, 5, 6, New Horizons, you name it. In February 2019 Damien Reeve created Omnifactory, a 1.12.2 pack using GT Community Edition, which is also the mod pack that you are seeing right now on your screen. GregTech had built a reputation of being tedious and harsh among modded players. Due to the punishing mechanics of GT and H, Omnifactory aimed to heavily reduce the grindiness of GT while maintaining its famed complexity. For this reason, it is the most popular GregTech pack. From 2020 to 2021, Omnifactory was maintained by a team led by Exa. However, in January of 2022, several dramatic dramas led to them splitting up, and the mod pack has been renamed as Nomifactory. However, GregTech Community Edition had many issues as a mod due to poor coding and management, which led to it having serious issues such as poor performance, having some pretty heavy bugs, and not having item pipes. Several add-ons were made for GTCE to patch these holes. Among them there is GregTech, which heavily extended GTCE's gameplay and added crazy things such as the super causal mainframe. Yes, that's where the 400-step crafting chain meme comes in. The team at GregTech, led by Dan and Tech22, decided to make an improved version of GTCE, which would solve its issues and create a more robust experience. This fork was released in December 2021 and is known as GregTech Community Edition Unofficial. It is where all GT development on 1.12 takes place, and it's currently the best version of GregTech at the moment. But all of that changed in June 2022 when a little-known person called Igabalotsofnames from Igabalotsofnames headquarters started getting interested into the Greg. This prompted him to create the fabled GregTech movie. GregTech started getting popular on YouTube with hundreds, if not thousands of people seeing it for the first time. The amount of people downloading GregTech Community Edition Unofficial turned from 30,000 to nearly 100,000. Many people also started making GregTech YouTube videos. Gregification was spreading. There is only one way to go now, and that is up. More Greg, more tech. Towards new horizons we go. And yes, there will be more videos on this topic. If you find a specific part of GregTech interesting, please tell me in the comments so I can cover it in more detail. The GregTech takeover of YouTube has begun. If you want to help, please subscribe and press left click right click left.